And lastly for me, champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Money Mayweather and Terence "Bud" Crawford nearly came to blows, live on camera, right after Crawford's shocking victory over Canelo Alvarez. Security rushed in, entourages clashed, and for a brief moment it felt like boxing's past and present were about to collide in the same ring. No punches were thrown, but the tension said everything. The greatest of yesterday, Floyd Mayweather, staring down the greatest of today, Terence Crawford. It was one of those moments that makes you wonder, was this real animosity, or was Floyd simply stirring controversy to stay in spotlight? Because here's the truth, after Bud beat Canelo, the boxing world spoke. Many believe Crawford's legacy has now surpassed Floyd's, and that's where all this heat really comes from.
You see all these fighters, they're doing the shoulder roll, you see, I mean, yeah. And not knocking the guys that paved the way. And I want to come on record and say, I'm appreciative for guys like Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard. So many guys that paved the way for me. But there's only one Floyd Mayweather. These fighters are not better than me. You look at the numbers, they say, oh, Canelo may end up beating more world champions than Floyd Mayweather. Well, he should. With almost, 80 and 90 fights, he should. Mm-hmm. I beat more world champions than any fighter in history. I'm 50-0, but half of my fights was world title fights.
For years, Floyd Mayweather sat comfortably as boxing's pound-for-pound king and the self-proclaimed TB, the best ever. He retired with a perfect 50-0 record, never beaten, never even knocked down, with iconic wins over Pacquiao, Cotto, Canelo, and Oscar de la Hoya. But Terence Crawford has now flipped the entire script.
You GOAT because you are the GOAT of this era. Terence "Bud" Crawford.
Crawford is now a three-time undisputed champion and remains undefeated. He has conquered 5 weight divisions. And unlike Floyd, who is often accused of cherry-picking opponents and fighting legends past their prime, Bud stepped in and defeated the face of boxing in his prime division.
Because, like, if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. Oh, yes. That makes a difference to...
Even Max Kellerman said it himself. Floyd picked and chose when he fought certain fighters. Crawford wanted everyone all the time. And that difference matters.
The second half of the fight put an emphasis on the fact that Bud was in fact outboxing him in the first half of the fight. It is one of the biggest wins in boxing history. And now let Uncle Max gather around, children, and I will explain this. This is the situation, guys. No one has ever been a 4-division champion in boxing. Not a real one. Oh, Pacquiao won 8 and Oscar De La Hoya won 11 and this one won 15. No, I'm talking about Ring Magazine champ or lineal champ. You are the champion of that division.
Get them all.
Forever, the record was 3 by Henry Armstrong. Manny Pacquiao was the first dude to really win 4. Floyd gets credit for 4 for beating Canelo, but that wasn't at the junior middleweight limit. I don't count that. Right. I don't count that. Right. Terence Crawford just joined Manny Pacquiao as the only legit 4-division champion in the history of boxing. And he did it.
The numbers are close. The resumes are elite on both sides. But when it comes to risk-taking and fearlessness, that's where Crawford separated himself and why the boxing world is buzzing. Did Terence Crawford just surpass Floyd Mayweather? Who truly stands above the other?
Who's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can't you can knock him as well. You know, he's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
To understand why this debate is so intense, you have to rewind to the Canelo fight. Going in, almost everyone said Crawford was simply too small.
Your favorite, Canelo or Crawford? Canelo. Canelo, yeah.
What do you think is the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo versus Crawford?
That he's comfortable at 168. You know, that he's been fighting there. He went and collected all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, you know, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, you know, of course he's probably been training, you know, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're going to have to do some fights in there. And going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's going to take a toll.
He moved up 2 weight classes to face a natural 168-pound fighter like Canelo Alvarez. It sounded insane, but Bud didn't just survive, he outboxed him. Crawford circled, jabbed, countered, and systematically broke Canelo down. Yes, Canelo landed some heavy body shots, but they never shifted the fight. By round 7, Crawford was standing toe-to-toe and winning exchanges. By round 12, it was obvious the judges would score it unanimously. With that win, Crawford didn't just prove himself. He made history, becoming the first man ever to be undisputed in 3 different weight classes.
You had a Cavs hat on, this time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists, you know, everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course.
And in doing so, he accomplished something Floyd never dared to attempt. He defeated a bigger champion at his natural weight. That's the real root of Floyd's frustration. Floyd has always been the master of narrative, the man who built an empire by calling himself money and constantly reminding the world of his perfection.
150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
But now the spotlight belongs to Crawford. Bud is being crowned the new pound-for-pound king. Analysts are openly debating whether he's greater than Floyd. Fans are saying he dared to do what Floyd never did. And Floyd doesn't like it. That's why he crashed the post-fight moment. That's why he's throwing shade, questioning Crawford's legacy, and even teasing a potential fight. Floyd knows Bud's win over Canelo took his shine, and he wants it back.
How are you feeling to be Chris Eubank's trainer, first of all?
It feels good, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been in this trainer before, so...
Yeah, it's good.
It's a no-brainer.
Of course. Congratulations on the win. What's your first reactions to Crawford's victory? One of the greats of this era, right?
Oh, definitely that. You know that.
What do you want to see him do now?
What I want to do now?
What do you want to see Crawford do next?
Just do what he at this point now in his career where he can do whatever he wanted to do.
Who would you like to see him fight? Any names? Is there any names in particular you'd like to see?
It doesn't matter.
What about Canelo? Would you like to see him retire?
I don't. Canelo's not my responsibility.
Okay.
Here's the reality. Terence Crawford doesn't need Floyd Mayweather. And this is what fans really need to understand. Floyd has a long history of only aligning with fighters when it benefits him. Crawford was never trying to challenge Floyd's legacy. In fact, he always showed respect for it. He gave Floyd his flowers. Why would he ever try to diminish that career? At the time, Crawford stayed quiet and avoided drama, even when rumors and personal narratives started floating around that had nothing to do with boxing.
Gave you the spotlight, like why would he try to diminish your career?
Because at that time, I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to bring up mine. But it was somehow that they were saying that I was messing with his daughter off of the fact that she kept snapping.
One analyst summed it up perfectly. Terence fought a masterful fight. He never let Canelo find rhythm. He never allowed him to get comfortable or build momentum. Many doubted he could maintain that pace for 12 rounds, but Crawford proved them wrong. Even late in the fight, he pushed the action more than expected, and that's the mark of a true superstar.
Terence fought a virtuoso fight. Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason, but Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds, and in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
For years, Floyd's argument was simple. He was the pay-per-view king, the biggest draw boxing had ever seen.
Fighter of the decade, I'm a fighter of the last century, honestly. and it's a reason why I'm the best fighter of the last 100 years. The credentials show it. And I went out there and showed it. What's better than one out there being world champion for what, 20 years? Box office, I got the record. Pay-per-view, I got the record. It's better to win half 5 world titles than 4 at one particular time.
But now, Crawford is proving he can do the same. The Canelo fight wasn't just historic, it was a massive commercial success. Netflix streamed it worldwide. The stadium was sold out. Millions tuned in, making it one of the most watched fights of the last 2 decades.
He fought a virtuoso fight. Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason, but Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds, and in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
Crawford has shown he's not only the pound-for-pound best, he's becoming the new box office king. He can sell out stadiums. He can carry a pay-per-view. He can headline anywhere on the planet.
Why were you so emotional afterward? Is it that you just realized everything that you achieved, the moment just hit you then?
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's just, the history, behind the sport is just everything that, I trained for my whole life. It all was, coming out that one night. That was all paying off. You have a lot of people that, adopted this narrative that Terence Crawford can't sell, Terence Crawford is not marketable, and they push the narrative to the public, and that's all people write about. Oh, Terence Crawford can't do this, Terence Crawford can't do that. But any one of Terence Crawford fights, you see a sold-out crowd, but they wasn't talking about that. They was talking about how, marketable I'm not, and that kind of was hurting my career because, a lot of people was looking at me and said, oh yeah, they said he's not marketable. Or they said he's not, don't have a personality, things like that, because I didn't want to do things their way. I didn't want to put on a show. I didn't want to disrespect my opponents when they wasn't disrespecting me. Right. I wasn't, I'm not a guy that, wear jewelry for no reason. Just the things that I didn't want to do that they wanted me to do. They go out there and say, oh, well, they lost money on me. It's just crazy though to see me headline, not one of the largest attending fight in American history. In American history.
And that's why Floyd is rattled. But isn't just taking over inside the ring, he's taking over outside it too. So why did Floyd nearly fight Crawford live? The answer is simple: money and relevance. Floyd may be retired, but he's never truly left the spotlight. He's done exhibitions against YouTubers, kickboxers, and MMA fighters, all to keep the checks coming. But none of those fights carried real meaning. A fight with Crawford would. It would be the biggest exhibition ever. The story writes itself. Undefeated legend versus undefeated king. Old school versus new school. The self-proclaimed TBE versus the man many now believe is greater.
I know how you is. You be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, bro. Keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fighting. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
Boy, you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd, nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll beat his ass. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plotting.
I ain't never been that type of person ever.
For Floyd, it's a chance to cash in and reclaim the headlines. That's why he's fueling controversy. That's why he nearly squared up with Crawford live. He wants to bait Bud into one final mega payday. But here's the twist. Crawford isn't interested, but has always respected Floyd, calling him a legend and one of the greatest ever. But fighting him adds nothing to Crawford's legacy. Floyd is 48 years old, far past his prime, and hasn't competed at the elite level in years. If Bud wins, critics will say Floyd was old. If Floyd somehow wins, they'll call it a fluke. Either way, Crawford gains nothing.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Sean Porter, right?
No.
No friends in this business for you.
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think me and Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis.
Beat your...
Okay, that's a no. That's a no.
That's why Bud isn't chasing Floyd. He's focused on cementing his own legacy, whether that means defending his crown, moving up again, or retiring undefeated. To him, fighting Floyd isn't history, it's just business. And Bud has never been about chasing clout. Let's call this what it really is, Floyd trying to manufacture controversy to sell a fight that benefits only him. Crawford is at the peak of his powers, sitting on boxing's throne. Floyd is the retired legend searching for one last spotlight. Their near altercation wasn't about hatred, it was about promotion.
I was saying that if he beats Canelo, it could put him as even the greatest of all time. What does that put him in the all-time list, man?
At least top 10.
At least
top 10 or top 15, easily, you know? There's guys that we may not know of or heard of, like Henry Armstrong. Simultaneously, he was 3 divisions carrying all 3 weight divisions at the same time.
Which performance was better? I don't like to compare them, but Crawford or Mayweather's over Canelo. Like it's just different.
It's just different styles, different looks, you know. But the punching, the output that he was giving Canelo, definitely gave him the win.
The real fight is the narrative: Floyd's legacy versus Crawford's, the old GOAT versus the new king. And after Crawford's win over Canelo, the torch has officially been passed, whether Floyd likes it or not. So there you have it. Floyd Mayweather almost fought Terence Crawford live, but the real story isn't the scuffle. It's the legacy battle beneath it all. Crawford beat Canelo Alvarez, became undisputed in 3 divisions, and is now widely regarded as pound-for-pound #1. He's selling out stadiums, dominating pay-per-view, and many believe his legacy now shines brighter than Floyd's. Floyd wants the spotlight back for money and relevance, but Crawford doesn't need it. He's already made history. What do you think? Should Crawford entertain Floyd's callouts, or should he leave money in the past and focus on his own future? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe too.